Call this meeting to order, please. We have 6 board members present and 1 absent. Is there any comment from the? Seeing none, we'll adjourn to closed session then.
We're going to go to personnel.
meeting to order, please. Roll call. We have 6 board members present. Ms. Alexander is absent. And we have our new student representatives, Lexi Thor from Bear Creek. Yay. Margaret Machado from Tokay is here. And Selena Wong from Middle College is here. Okay, Mrs. Thor, would you lead us in Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready? Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In closed session, we had one appointment, Mrs. McFarland motion, Mr. Nava second, and the board approved the appointment of Rochelle Nuss as the elementary vice principal. The location and effective date to be determined by a vote of 6 yes, 0 no's, and 1 absent. At this moment, we have some, we're going to have a moment of silence, please. We've had some tragedies in our district. It is with deep sadness that we share the news of the passing of Donna Battles, who has worked at Lodi Middle School since 2015, most recently as a cafe assistant 1. Her colleagues at Nutrition Services shared that her love for her job and the children she served was evident every day. At nearly 74, she was ready to retire and often outpaced younger colleagues with her energy and dedication. Colleagues described how Donna's presence lit up the room and how the children loved interacting with her. During staffing shortages, it was shared that Donna never hesitated to step up, always offering her help with a soft-spoken, "Anytime you need me, I'm here." Please join us in extending our condolences to her family and staff at Lodi Middle School and the Nutrition Service Department. Join me for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. We're also saddened to share that Cal Krinke recently passed away. Cal began his teaching career at Lodi Unified in August of 1986. At Woodbridge School teaching reading and English. In 1987, he began teaching science at Woodbridge Middle, which later changed to Woodbridge Middle, which later changed its name to Millswood Middle. He coached girls basketball throughout his career and retired in May of 2010, and returned as a substitute teacher in 2011. Subbing at Millswood and Murata Middle School, he continued to stay involved throughout his retirement, stepping up to help whenever he was needed. Again, please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, new faces tonight from our student representatives. Let's start with Lexi from Bear Creek. Say hi.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexi from Bear Creek High School.
Okay, Margaret Machado.
Hi, I'm Margaret Machado. I'm from Tokay High School, and I'm very proud to be here and honored.
All right, and Celine from Middle College.
Hi, I'm Celine Wong. I'm from Middle College High School.
Okay, we're looking forward to these reports in the future. Okay.
You ready today?
Do you have one tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's go for it. Let's go.
President Knaxted, Vice President Dr. Ball, Board, and Superintendent Young. Here is my board report for this meeting. Our Lincoln class held freshman orientation on Monday, July 29th, and as our very first event, I would say it was a success as 500 incoming high schoolers were in attendance. Icebreaker games were played and bonds were made. We started the year off early with our Senior Sunrise event where seniors were able to start their final school year off by making memories with their friends. As for student government, freshman elections have started this week and we've already had interest. This year, we decided to try something new and added a student activities class to assist ASB and student government. This class will host events during our lunchtime. So far, things have been going great. We held an informational meeting on the first day of school, which the students and staff loved. On Friday, August 2nd, we had our back to school rally. Our theme this year was Inside Out, inspired by the newly released Inside Out 2 movie. Some interactive games that were played are Hungry Hippo, where students attempted to grab as many ball pit balls as they could in laundry baskets while being pushed on floor scooters, and Popping Balloon Race, where students were in groups of 2, trying to pop their balloons faster than the teams they were going against. As for athletics, fall sports will begin the week of August 5th. This includes girls and boys water polo, cross country, football, flag football, and girls golf, tennis, and volleyball. Our girls volleyball team will hold their tryouts first with about 155 girls interested. This school year has been off to an amazing start. All the students are loving the new bathrooms, especially the doors that lock and flawless mirrors. We'd like to give a special thank you to our Board of Trustees for helping us make a cleaner, remodeled bathroom for our students to use. As for our upcoming activities, our Vice President, Alana Youth, has been working hard on organizing our club rush that will happen the week of August 19th to August 23rd. This event is where students are able to see all the clubs that Baker has to offer. There are multiple cultural, volunteer, scholar, and special interest clubs that love recruiting new members. Our Bruin Pride peaks in these first few weeks, and I'm so excited to see where this year takes us. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to acknowledge Lexi and my granddaughter, our best friends at Bear Creek.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. What's going on in Tokay, Margaret?
So at Tokay, our Tiger Day, which is basically like us getting our IDs and everything, was a very good success. And then orientation day as well with the freshmen was very good, or went very well with Lane Crew. They were able to get them very interested and excited for their new freshman year. This is also one of our biggest classes at Tokay with over 600 students. Right now, tryout for sports are starting, such as football, volleyball, golf, tennis, flag football, and soccer conditioning, as well as fall ball is also starting for baseball in the spring. In student government, we have a new advisor after Mr. Johnson has left, named Mrs. Rhodes, and she is amazing. And she's been very good in helping us to do all of our regular stuff, as well as incorporating new ideas into Tokay. We also have a rally on Friday this week, and Club Rush is going to be next week on Friday as well. So not really much on clubs, as we haven't gotten to really see them yet. But also we had an assembly on new policies on August 2nd, so last Friday, basically going over new tardy policies, and basically whatever, like what happens when you get in trouble or you don't have your ID showing, such as your lanyard. We also have some upcoming events such as Club Rush on August 16th, the rally on August 9th. We have homecoming on September 27th, and then there's a preseason game against Lodi on August 23rd that everyone is excited for. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Middle College. Ms. Wong.
President Knaxted, Vice President Ball, Superintendent Neil Young, and members of the audience. First off, to report on our school activities and programs, our high school classes began last Monday on July 29th. So for the past week, our counselor and teachers have been easing students back into the start of the school year, as well as assisting new students with their college class schedules for when Delta College courses begin next Friday on the 16th. The first day of school went very well for everyone, and the freshmen didn't have too much trouble getting class to class thanks to help from the upperclassmen. We are located on Delta's campus, so we're hoping that no one falls into the koi pond this year again. This week, clubs are beginning to announce and host their first meetings of the year. They're focusing on member sign-ups, dues payments when applicable, and we'll be looking for student avid representatives soon. All clubs will take part in our Club Fest at the end of September. As for student government, our student government hosted the freshman/new student orientation on July 29th, where student leaders and club presidents came together to take new students on a tour around campus before their classes of the day began. We held icebreakers and got to know each other so we could all be more familiar with one another, stuff like charades and human bingo, trying to make the new students, particularly the nervous freshmen, more comfortable within their first day of high school. On July 30th, the second day, we hosted our school's club rush out in the Dolores Horta Plaza at Delta College. where all the clubs were able to set up booths with informational trifolds and activities to encourage membership once their meetings begin. We gave out otter pops, refreshments, and snacks as prizes for the winning activities because it was so hot out. We are getting ready for our first in-government meeting after school with all of our ASB members, as well as beginning to organize our first fundraisers and planning for Club Fest. For performances and presentations on our first and second days of school, our student body received a welcome back and safety assembly courtesy of our principal, Mrs. Vanessa Hara, and Delta College's police force, which was very informative and a good refresher on all our school policies. And the freshman class has also received a high school and college etiquette presentation in their ASC classes on August 5th in order to better prepare them for their college classes and to be more mindful about being on a college campus. They will also receive a presentation on the week of the 19th about our school rallies and how to apply for our student government positions of freshman senator. Additionally, our senior sunrise has been scheduled for this Saturday on the 10th. For our special students, staff, accomplishments, and recognitions, academic-wise, AVID tutorials will begin once our AVID tutors are selected and hired. Applications are due tomorrow. In senior AVID, we're beginning the writing process of college applications and beginning on our running scholarship projects. Co-curricular-wise, our MESA will host an event day where they introduce each event to students in order to create teams for the scrimmages in the fall and eventual competition in the spring. And as far as upcoming activities and events go, our first in-government meeting is this Thursday. The first day of Delta classes is next Friday, and our Culture Club is hosting the Greek Olympics on the 18th of next month.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Young, what's going on in the Superintendent's office?
Mr. Knaxton, members of the board, the beginning of the year is always an exciting time of year as students come back to school, and one thing families are invited to do is take pictures of their first day of school, and then Ms. Bungier and Ms. Zimenez put together a video which we would like to show, kick off the start of the 2024-25 school year. I think what you see there is a beautifully diverse school district with a lot of smiles, although they got smaller as they got older. I noticed the high school students give the look of, oh, do I have to take another picture? But it is exciting to start the school year. It's always a great time of year. And I think those pictures said it all. So I'll leave it at that, Mr.
All
Connected.
right, thank you. We'll move on to employee group comments. Each employee group representative shall limit their comments to 5 minutes, please. Do we have any? There we go.
President Knackstead, members of the board, Superintendent Young. First of all, I want to congratulate our new student representatives. It's so nice to see 3 young ladies sitting here. It's making me very proud. And I wish you the best of luck this year. So I know that we finished bargaining late. Last year, Lodi Education Association would like to get a jump start this year. Our bargaining survey went out today. There are some issues with the implementation of the contract, and I will be setting up a meeting with Mr. Young. But the thing that's concerning me right now is I'm hearing a lot of things about class sizes and also school sizes. I got several calls from teachers from Larson where they are at 900 students. That school was never built to hold that many students, and I think that the district needs to look at possibly changing that boundary. And there's also a lot of construction going on in that area, which is going to further continue to impact that school. So I think it might be time to look at some of our boundaries and being able to balance out our school populations a little bit more, because it's horrible when a child has to be overflowed to another school, but it's also horrible when a teacher has, so many students in her class that he or she cannot adequately give them the attention they deserve. So I think it's about time that we kind of take a look at that. I do want to also give a shout out to Mrs. Holbert. I brought out some issues with Aries not initializing until the day of school. And as we go to a lot more curriculum or technology-based curriculum, that's a problem. Because as a teacher, I know that I cannot set up my Google Classroom, my Clever. I can't do that until Aries is completely initialized. So she has agreed that coming for the 25-26 school year, that we'll have a teacher, at least one teacher, being able to sit with her and all the other interdepartmental people that put this together to have some input. I think that will help and make things run smoother. But again, as we're doing more technology-based curriculum, we need to have access to that curriculum as a teacher before my students hit the classroom. If we're supposed to spend every minute teaching, I need to be able to run the minute they come into my door. And right now, teachers are telling me that they cannot. So that's about it for now. Like I said, I'm going to pick on Mr. Young. I'll set up a meeting with him sometime this week, and we can discuss some things. I may also be contacting some of you as board members to kind of give you some insight as to some things that are going on with our contract. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? USDA, anybody? Nobody? Okay. Moving on then. To comment from the public. At this time, we'll have a 20-minute time period set aside for the public to address the board items not listed on the agenda. Each public speaker shall limit their comment to 3 minutes, please. The board cannot engage in dialogue about public comment because of the restrictions placed by the California Brown Act. And make sure you give us your first and last name before you start. So, go ahead and pull somebody out there. Back to the old fishbowl. Actually, it's a new fishbowl. Julie Jensen. Coming out of retirement, see here.
Good evening. My name is Julie Jensen. I'm a retired Lodi Unified teacher. Our group of teachers, parents, and concerned citizens have repeatedly requested that the board address the issue of book review. We presented reasonable proposals that would have librarians draft a new policy that addresses transparency and fairness in reviewing books. But despite much public concern, no changes have been made. Staff at Washington School, where I previously worked, alerted me to a situation that began last school year. A parent complaint led to 84 titles being pulled from the collection and held behind the librarian's counter. Anything triggering is what I was told. Children had to request a specific title and then face questioning about whether they had parent permission to check out one of those books. Restricted titles included The Frog and Toad Early Readers, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, children's books about the human body, entire series such as Star Wars, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and more. All titles by certain authors, including Raina Telgemeier, Jennifer Holm, James Dasher, and Suzanne Collins. I spoke with the principal at Washington twice this summer. She intimated that she'd communicated with the superintendent. The board was made aware of the situation at the last public meeting. The principal did not return any of my follow-up emails until just a few moments ago. Teachers report the books were finally returned to the regular shelves this afternoon after many months. And we have no idea if this is happening at other elementary schools. So this is the chaos you've allowed in Lodi Unified. With no clear policy or procedure, with no oversight, kids at different schools had different access to materials. If a parent thought Frog and Toad might encourage their child to be gay, or Harry Potter could summon demons into their home, a principal could and did authorize books be restricted school-wide for months, and the superintendent took no action after learning about it. We've been patient the past few months, articulating our concerns through appropriate channels with no action from you. Nothing has changed regarding the review process, committee formation, or its governance. Many policies are being reconsidered tonight, none of which involve book review. We are urging you one more time to motion for district librarians to rewrite this inadequate policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca Lima.
Good evening, President Knackstedt, members of the board, Superintendent Neil Young. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of some of the teachers at Davis Elementary. First, we'd like to thank the district for providing us with bottled water and hand sanitizer while our well water situation is being sorted out. However, we do wish that there had been more transparency with teachers, staff, and the community, because we have had signs from M&O on our door since June 11th instructing us not to drink the water. It doesn't make sense to most, if not all of us, why it has taken so long for the well to be appropriately cleaned and water to be safe to use and drink. We don't know why there wasn't enough time for the situation to be taken care of before school started, but we surely hope it is resolved soon. Secondly, we'd like to bring attention to the fact that our district allowed for a 5-6 combo class to remain at our site when the straight 5th grade class had a roster nearing 50 students on the first day of school. I think we can all agree that combo classes do not serve students best, so we'd like to ask why, when we had 46 5th grade students on one teacher's roster and 20 5th grade students in the combo class, would it not be the best choice for students, teachers, and staff to allow for 2 straight 5th grade classes? Teachers were told that it would be unethical to overflow 6th grade students who have been at our site since kindergarten if the combo were dissolved. But how ethical, not to mention how safe, is it to allow for nearly 50 students in one elementary school class? And now half a class of students will need to be overflowed, as opposed to the handful of 6th graders in the combo if the district had allowed for 2 straight 5th grade classes. We do appreciate that the district provided a classified staff member to help support the classroom, music, and PE teachers until the class size can be reduced as laid out in our contract. In closing, Lodi Unified is lucky to have such flexible teachers who are willing to work harder to accommodate such ridiculously large class sizes. But we at Davis sincerely hope that our district doesn't allow for a class of this size to be overlooked again. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill Yates.
President Knackneck, Superintendent Young. I'm Billy Yates, parent and teacher, special ed teacher, and now, after a strenuous election against nobody, now I'm on the executive board for special ed. Barely won. And it is, at a great moment at the end of last year, Dr. Ball, when you said we should look at special ed and not forget it anymore and pay attention to it this year, I started to jump up in it was like somebody scored a touchdown. I was so excited. And the special ed committee has been already meeting with Mr. Warren and Mrs. Aiken, and we are so excited about the first conversation we had, where we got to correct our numbers about how many people have been hired and how many vacancies we have, and we've had a good beginning to our relationship. And I'm excited that that number has dropped as far as all special ed teachers down to 31. That's sad to say, excited about 31. Because 31 vacancies, 27 of those being in the lower levels. I have to teach 10 students. Imagine that would be 270 students, which is a very low number. That means about a small elementary school has no teachers. Now, some of our teachers left for another district because of working conditions and contract. They got more money in another district and had better working conditions. So we want to work well with our special ed department about making sure our contract is followed and making sure that Ed Code 5632C, about 28 students receiving academic instruction for our RSP teachers, is followed, and that all our special ed teachers are receiving preps without overdue burden. So we're going to be working with just making Lodi Unified be the special ed department that everybody wants to work at, because it's such great working conditions to be at. I will tell you that I received some new students from some other districts as they moved in, and I was super excited to receive them, but also because the students that we had were farther along in what they need to be classroom ready and to be learning. So I know we can do a great job if we have great teachers in our classrooms. So please continue to help us do that. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Sherry Kelly.
Good evening, board. Thank you for having me. I'm just trying to show myself a lot so you won't forget about us LMAs. Just thought I'd let you know what our first week was like. We enjoyed having the children. It was fun seeing all these students come back to school. We missed them. But we also had to deal with a lot. The first couple days, we had Chromebooks all over the place not working. We had to constantly try to figure out what was wrong with them. We are having a problem with internet problems where our internet will not connect to Chromebooks that have been updated to a certain update. So I don't know how many students I had helped. All I did was Chromebook problems, the first, second, and third day. I did not do any library work whatsoever. So, also, time for Chromebook Care Plan. Everybody has to pay. We're glad to see that. But each month we have to download a report called Ripplestone, and it tells us all of the payments that were made through credit card. This is my list, front and back, of Chromebook Care Plans just for 1 week. I counted it all up. It's 130. I just got done since having this Friday, just this page. The rest of the pages are left because I don't have email. I can't in one day. So this is almost every school that has this problem. And not only that is I can't finish this report, but guess when my next report that I have to download? Thursday. So now I'm going to have another over 130 to do and still can't keep up with it. So also technology is having a tough time keeping up with us. I sent back over 100 computers for not working. And so now we're going to be running low. I just got an email asking for what Chromebooks I have to share because of all the seniors that brought in their Chromebooks. There's not enough to go through the whole school because they're so old and breaking down so quickly. So that's part of the problem, some of our first week. So maybe next month you'll hear about what our second month is like. Thank you for listening, but I want you to know I really love my job, but we too need help. Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly Hansen.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to the board. Neil, Mr. Young, welcome. Ladies, welcome. Very proud to see all of you. Kind of want to steal her last line, that I do need help. I have 24 students in my 6th grade class. Not a single child is proficient in anything. I have 3 kids who got a 3 in English language arts on their state test, but when they took the diagnostic, they're all reading like 3rd grade level. And when I did my sit-down, very low stress reading test with them, most of them are reading at 3rd grade level or below. I have not had a pre-primer student in my 6th grade class since before class size reduction started. But I do have one this year. A pre-primer child can't read words like and, the, but. They can't read whatsoever. She's also kindergarten level according to her diagnostic. So I have all these kids, and I feel like I'm a really good teacher. But I have all these kids. I have virtually no help. That's why I was stealing her line. Right now I've got them believing that we are going to make strides, that we're going to do good things, but I'm really worried because if you look at statistics, if a child is reading at 3rd grade level in 6th grade, they're almost doomed to failure. I have 14 of them. I'm going to be getting 6 more kids because I only have the 24, and next week I'll have 6 new kids to get settled. And first couple days of school, it was almost eerie because they were so quiet, because they're all kind of the walking wounded kids. They're not like normal 6th graders. And I'm thinking about all the money we have stored up for inevitabilities. I know that you've put so much money aside that you're going to be paying to special ed attorneys. My little one that can't read and is, very, very low on her math, kindergarten level, she was denied access to a special day class. She cannot function by herself in a regular ed class, especially the level that she's at when I'm trying to teach this, but trying to give them the tools so that they can be successful in 6th grade curriculum. And I don't know if this is district-wide, that this is happening at other 6th grades. I figure these kids were 2nd grade in COVID, and I'm sorry, I think we all learned that you don't learn over a computer. But I really would like some help. Long time ago, we had a program where we had co-teachers. And I think we need to dip into the reserves, and where we see a need like this, we give the children what they need to be successful. My time is up, but you really need to look at this problem. You really need to solve this problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to consent agenda A. The public may address the board on consent agenda A, which is routine business. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Is there anybody that would like to speak to consent agenda A?
President Knaxton, members of the board. I'm looking at item A1 and going through the contracts. And so, Kingsley Bogart, these are all attorneys, $100,000. Lozano Smith, $75,000. Gutierrez, Perez, and Villarreal, $250,000. That's almost $500 million, $500,000 on attorneys. That's very concerning to me. That is extremely concerning to me. I did have some other issues that I'm glad that Ms. Juarez and Mr. Horton addressed my concerns with, and I'm gonna have some more conversations with, Dr. Horton. But that's a lot of money. Thank you.
We're gonna need to call this special.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you. Board, is anybody on the board would like to pull an item on consent agenda A? No?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve consent agenda A.
Okay. Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Student, you either vote yes or no. Or,
Pull it down.
okay.
So this is, we talked about this before, but this is the moment that you'll be asked, and each of you has an opportunity to vote yea or nay.
I'm sorry, what are we specifically?
You're
voting
voting to approve consent agenda A, routine business, or you said, no, I don't want to do that.
on? Yay.
Okay,
Yay.
Yay.
thank you. Okay, board vote. I guess we're electronic, aren't we? Consent agenda A passes 6-0 and 1 absent. So you voted correctly, Rose. Okay, other action items. Other action item number 1. This is to increase certificated substitute pay rates by 5%. Svetica.
She's not here, so I'm bringing before you to take action that the substitute teachers, the certificated substitutes would also have a 5% increase, just as other employees had in 23-24. Seeking your approval.
Okay?
Motion approved. Second.
Okay, well, get that going. Was there any public comment? Who was second, Nava? Okay.
Yeah, what's
I got Nava down, that's who I wrote. Did you say anything, Joe?
No, I did second it.
Okay, good. We're good. Okay, student vote then.
Yay? Yay.
Yay.
Okay.
Should change his eye.
And board vote. Again, it's approved 6-0, 1 absent. Okay.
Mr. Knackstead,
Yes.
we're bringing before you the approval to increase teacher substitute, the budget by 30%, reflect a 30% bonus for teacher substitutes based on their daily substitute pay for, from July 23rd to June 30th of 2025. So
Okay.
seeking your approval.
Any comments from the public?
I'm back, of course. I don't have objection. We need substitutes.
Okay.
But I recently had a child of a colleague who tried to become a substitute relay the story of trying to get on to be a substitute with this district. And by the way, this is a child who graduated from Lodi schools. There was blocks at every turn. They said she didn't put in her CBUS scores, and she goes, no, it's in my application, along with my transfer. And then they said, your transcripts, it's in my application. They said, well, you have to be available every day. And this is a child, or she's a young adult, she's not a child. But she goes, well, I don't want to do that. I'm trying to get into graduate school. I want to do this so that I can afford to go to graduate school. And the person that she talked to in personnel said, well, you cannot do that. Now, fortunately, this young lady has some friends within the district and had spoken with those people who are in the district office and said, oh, heck no. But if this is and they got her approved to sub. But can you imagine if this is what is happening to people who are applying to become subs? And I've heard all the time from other people who work for the district that, hey, my child wants to be a substitute or young adult now, they're not there, but they're still their kids. They want to be a sub for para, they want to, or even become a para. They want to become a substitute teacher, and they have said that the roadblocks and the time it takes is just onerous. I know that Mr. Young had said that when he was also in personnel, and now that he's superintendent, that he wants to streamline this process. It's not been done. We've got to do better. Teachers should not feel guilty for having to take a day off. If they are ill or somebody in their family is ill, and that's what's happening. Thank you.
Okay, so this was,
Mr. Knesset, Ms. Wilkins, if you would kindly send me the name of that person so I can look into what happened, that's always helpful for us to make sure that we are continuing with the hiring process in a streamlined manner. Thank you.
okay, so is there any other comments? This is increasing by the substitute pay. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Connexted, Mr. Young, members of the board, Desiree Wise, CSEA president. What about classified? Do our subs get a bonus too? Our secretaries, there's very little subsecretaries. We don't have subs at all either. So, custodians. What about us?
Yeah, there's no intention of treating classified substitutes differently. I'd have to go back and look at the process to increase theirs. I can't remember if it's based on the salary schedule, if that 5% is already built in, or if that's a separate process. So
I'm not talking about the 5%, Mr. Young, I'm talking about the 30% bonus.
Okay.
They're two different things, right?
So, Mr. Connexted, members of the board, I misunderstood what you were specifically talking about. I thought we were talking about the increase in the wage, not the other piece that we were talking about. So, I apologize for adding that.
I'm sorry.
Great.
What about us? Do we get, our people get bonuses too? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve this item.
I'll second it.
Okay, students, yes or no?
Yay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Board vote, please. This item is approved, 6-0, 1 absent.
Mr. Connexted, before you are the provisional internship permit for your approval.
Okay. Any public comment?
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay. McFarland and Mr. Porter. Student vote?
Yes.
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 Okay, board vote. This is approved, 6-0, 1 absent. Other action item number 4, title and job description change for public information officer, grant writer to call that person Director of Communications now, Mr. Young.
Yes, Mr. Connexted, members of the board, we are returning for the job description and title to be created for this position.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve this item.
We got it. Okay. We'll go with public comment first.
President Knaxton, members of the board, Mr. Young, again, last time this came up, I didn't believe, Mr. Young said that this is a change in title so that Ms. Bonnier will have a direct report, and there was not going to be any change in pay associated with it. And I have a hard time believing that, and I'm just going to say that if that is true, as a woman who came through a very male-dominated industry when I worked in the tech sector, then Ms. Bonnier is devaluing herself. I would never have taken a change in title, an upgrade in title without, and an upgrade in responsibility without an upgrade in pay. And, you know, this is the same sort of thing that happens to women all the time, but it also happens to teachers. You ask us to do more and more and more and more for no money, no additional money, and this really ticks me off. It really ticks me off. So, I have a big problem with this. A big problem. And I just do not believe that this change in going from a manager to a director without a pay raise, which isn't in here, is just not going to happen. And if it does, then you're devaluing this employee. And I doubt if a male would ever do this. It would ever be proposed to a male like this. Thank you.
It's Desiree again. My only comment is you've just heard from our library people, and that's just one example of classification or job descriptions that are out of date. I know a lot of us are working outside of our scope, and what about us? Sorry. This is a rather new position to begin with, and we have lots of positions that need to be looked at, so thank you for your consideration.
Okay, I do have a motion. Are there board comments before we go to the vote? Okay, Mr. Nava, motion, and Mrs. McFarland, second. Student vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and board vote. Okay, that motion passes 6-0 and 1 absent. Other action item number 5, Fiscal Services and Operations Department proposed restructuring. Mr. Young?
Yes, I'll hand this over to Mrs. Holbert, Ms. Juarez, and this is bringing back before you the restructuring that they're looking to put in place as we've pulled apart the Financial Services Department and the Operations Departments.
You, President Connexted, members of the board, Mr. Young, you took the words right out of my mouth. Ms. Juarez and I are returning our reorganization plan for your approval.
Any public comment?
Oh yeah, I have the opportunity, I'm going to give it. Again, I objected to this the last meeting when this was brought up because I feel like this plan is robbing Peter to pay Paul, that the district office is getting really top heavy, and this plan pulls people who work on the sites to justify the salaries of a split position that happened due to Mr. Khan's departure. I understood that's happening, but to pull people off who are working actually on the school sites to justify this to me is wrong. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Hi again.
Sure, state your name, please.
Sherry Kelly, I'm sorry. I kind of feel sad too because, you know, we have been, all LMAs have been working way beyond their job description. The things that we are doing, we are not on our job description and we're not getting the pay. So I kind of feel sad that this is happening, that I'm watching this. I guess, I don't know what else to say, but it's very sad. I'm sorry.
So you get a line back. Hey, come on up. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Susan Hoke. I'm not a public speaker. I'm shaky. But because of just the burden, like put yourself in our shoes. Imagine with the pay, you know, living costs, you know, everybody's going through it. Like my husband and I, we don't know if we can afford another child because of, you know, our pay rate and just, you know, just us being trained to do things that are not in our job title. How is that right? How is that right? It hasn't been updated since 1999. I love kids. I love the kids. And I burn myself out trying to deal with these Chromebooks and the list that keeps going every year. It's only my second year and I feel tired, so tired. I made myself come here. I don't live here. It takes me about 40 minutes to drive here. Every time. I'm tired. I have a family. I just want to feel appreciated and understood. I wish that today will be the day that something big will happen. You know? We keep hearing, you know, have hope, have hope, have hope, but when is something really gonna happen? I'm being honest. I'm shaking. I'm being so honest because this is we want this as our career, right? That's why we signed up. Please just don't forget us and really put yourself in our shoes. What would you do? I don't want to leave. I don't. But if we keep being pushed to a certain point, you can't blame us. You can't blame anyone. Thank you.
So my name is Juanita Vermette, and I'm actually a new LMA, not even a full year last year. I came from a 5-hour position where I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time in the day. That was just 5 hours. I'm at Kristen now, 8-hour position. I come in at 7 o'clock. I left yesterday at 6 o'clock because I had to, number one, try to make my way through all of the Chromebooks that, I'm not kidding, are stacked this high. They're on my chairs, they're on the desks, they're everywhere. And I mean, I'm supposed to leave at 3:45. I could have left at 3:45, but I still had to wire my Chromebook cart so that I could plug in some of these Chromebooks that I'm getting. Half of them don't even work. They're dirty, they have stickers on them, they're crusty looking. I mean, I try to remember, I have to consciously remind myself not to touch my eyes because they're just so old. Half of them don't work, I have to throw them away. That's just with the Chromebooks. On top of what Sherry was saying about, I haven't read my email. I don't have time to read my email. I haven't taken lunch because I had a yogurt from the morning from breakfast, trying to eat that throughout the day. It was there for 3 hours. I couldn't touch it. I've been a para, I've been a pause, so I can speak to the shortages in the classrooms. I can speak to the roadblocks because when I wanted to become a librarian, I tried to do an IPO. Nobody contacted me, nothing. I reached out to people. I was actually denied and told that there was a shortage of paras and PAWs so that I couldn't do it right now. That's not a way to treat your employees. You do not try to stop them because you're short-staffed. That's your issue, not my issue. You guys should be encouraging us and trying to bring us up so that we don't have to leave the district. I love the district. I love the students. That's the only reason I'm here, and I feel like you guys take advantage of that situation because the only reason we're here is for the students. My husband keeps trying to get me to leave. I can get more pay at other districts. It's the students, and that's what tethers me to this position, to this district, to the schools that I'm at. I'm very loyal to the students. You guys, you need to respect us. You need to give us more resources, more pay. I mean, I'm pretty sure that, okay, they're here voluntarily, but you guys are compensated. We're not compensated. I got to work at 6 o'clock this morning. I left at 4:15. I'm supposed to leave at 3:45. 7 o'clock I came in, supposed to come in at 7:15. Okay, you guys can turn it around and say that it's my fault for doing that, but I don't have a choice. Sorry.
Oh, I read the line.
Sorry.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. I know I think everybody before me has said a lot. I guess what you guys.
You didn't
Oh, I need to
introduce
push the
yourself.
button.
No, name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh. Marisela Sandoval Espinosa. I'm from Tokay High School. I'm an LMA too. So at any rate, I guess everybody that has come before me and me, who I'm come to you as one, but I represent a lot of people everybody has been speaking. Basically the frustration, I mean, it's real. I mean, you have your human resource is your biggest asset, and we're all here, but we represent many more because, we're loyal, we're hardworking, we love what we do. We do it with passion, and you want people like that. But these people are getting tired, and more specifically narrowing it down to the LMA2s, we've been doing this technology component in addition to all of what we're supposed to do, but that's been this taking over our position. And honestly, you value somebody by the way you treat them in your human resource, which you have the biggest resources is your teachers and the people that are in the trenches with the students. I mean, if this was the private sector, who is our customers is the students and how they're doing, in their progress. If we were in the public sector, how are we doing? How are our customers? How are we serving them? And are we serving them to the best of the ability? How is their progress? How is it being, tracked? How are we serving them every day in, day out? Because if you would go to these schools and see, we have 2,000 plus at the comprehensive high schools, that's one student. If you follow that, in the student's shoes every day, you would see what that student goes through and the roadblocks. And then we wonder how come they're not motivated to learn. Well, they're probably...
I think I need to stop you right there.
Yeah.
You're kind of getting off track of what we're talking about, fiscal services and operations department. And you're talking about something else.
Well, I'm kind of touching on the
You're
global...
not touching on the item that we want to talk about.
I don't know. I just was kind of up here with the LMA, so...
Yeah, we're not doing that right now. We're talking about restructuring fiscal services.
Well, that's part of my opinion to restructure, and the need to restructure, because the people in the trenches, we need to be compensated for what we're doing. And LMA is what we're doing right now is a lot more that's been on our job description. So if you're gonna restructure that needs to be taken care of with LMA2s, and it's to reflect the work that we do, how much we're doing, and basically not kick the can any more longer than it has been with the pay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Connexted, members of the board, Mr. Young. Just to bring it to your attention, I don't know if you've looked at the report or not, Mr. Connexted, but they are included in the reorg is to eliminate a PC support tech position. That's why the LMAs are here, is because the PC support tech, some of their duties has been pushed off onto them. They've been doing the work for quite some time. Some of the things, I know this is the third time this item has been before you that you've had the pleasure of hearing me talk about it.
It's always a pleasure.
But our LMAs actually do, they have submitted for reclassification. They were turned down. We do have a level 2 grievance currently on the reclassification process for them. And they've also submitted a time card demanding to be paid for working out of class. So all of those items are in the trenches going through the process as we speak. So that's why they're here, Mr. Connexted, to speak to you, because the positions that are being eliminated, their work is being pushed off to them with no recognition in pay. That's why they're here at the podium.
Thank you for clarification.
You're welcome. A couple of other things that I haven't, hold on. So as you know, you've heard from them, they're very passionate about their work. They want to do the work. They want to serve the students. And yes, a lot of people do what our other LMA spoke about, coming to work early, not taking your lunches, not taking your breaks, staying late, because they are passionate about what they do and they want to serve the students. They want to have the Chromebooks for the kids. The other thing that's been brought to my attention from some of the other individuals that work in technology is they have been told that supposedly because the librarians aren't gonna, the LMAs are no longer gonna be working on Chromebooks apparently, I'm not sure, this is rumor mill, that there is now gonna be mandatory overtime in the technology department for them to work on Chromebooks. And I'm talking people who make 3 times the amount of these individuals. So we're gonna pay technology employees overtime to come work on Chromebooks when these people are begging to do the work and be recognized for it. You actually are jumping to do the work for you. They want to provide that service for you. And like I said, some of the positions in the reclass, I feel that there's already positions that speak to the job descriptions. There's already positions that currently exist that would do the duties that we so-called need now. I did mention that before, people need to work within their job descriptions, and I think in the business side, primarily in budget, we have people that don't work within their job descriptions, so now we're creating something for them to do so that they can get paid, but our library people can't get paid. So thank you for your time, and I hope you take it into consideration. And I know that the last meeting, somebody had mentioned the long lines and the wait time in technology, and I want to tell you that's because there's not enough PC support techs to help our people. You come there, you wait in line, there's not enough people up there to help them. Thank you.
Mr. Knackstead, members of the board, at the last board meeting, this topic did come up, and I don't have the exact verbiage that I used in the last meeting, but the intention was to sit down with LMAs to understand more clearly the challenges that they're facing. The problem was it wasn't appropriate to do it the first week of school, and we are getting just started on the second week of school. That is still in progress. That is still something that we intend to do specifically with the duties related to our library media assistants, whether in an elementary, middle, or high school. So that is still in process. We haven't had that opportunity yet. Regarding any grievances, we would not discuss those in a public board meeting. That wouldn't be the appropriate place.
That's, are you good with that?
Me?
You, all 3 of you.
For me, that would be fantastic, would be
Okay,
lovely. I would love to be part of that. I would also like to add some.
Yeah. Nate.
Oh, okay, yes. So to answer your question, yes, that would be lovely. My name is Megan Gowdy. I am an LMA2 at Liberty High School. In acknowledgement of the operating resources and be flexible across departments, I was overjoyed. My Liberty High School is an alternate site. We are a small school. Everybody wears many hats. I was overjoyed this year when I found out that I could be able to be there through the multiple aquifer, multiple LCAT. Thank you. That there was a LMA position in addition to the career center technician, and they were going to mold those two to 2 separate jobs into maybe possibly 1 person, so that there was going to be a third body on campus to support the office and in the school and all the children, obviously, for 8 hours, 5 days a week. I thought that was absolutely fantastic, absolutely needed, wonderful, great. The career technician, I found out then, interesting, was 3 pay scales higher than my library media assistant too. Because the career center technician had that name in their job title as a technician, their job is 3 pay scales higher than a library media assistant too. I don't know why, and I throw that out there as a consideration as to what the career center technician does through their day versus a library media assistant too. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. President Knackstead, board members, Superintendent Young. My name is Sherry Lewis. I'm a library media assistant at Reese Elementary. I've been in this position for almost 8 years and with the district for 11. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to consider our proposal for our reclassification for our current position of librarian to library media technician. I stand before you today not just as an employee, but as someone who deeply is committed to the success and growth of my library and the students and staff that I serve. First, we should consider the evolving nature of libraries in the digital age. Traditionally, the role of a librarian has been centered around cataloging books, assisting patrons with finding materials, and maintaining a well-organized and appropriate collection. However, in the rise of digital media, online databases, and the ever-changing technology has significantly transformed the landscape of our library services. Today, our school library is much more than just checking books in and out and reading stories. With the introduction of Chromebooks, we have now a whole new job to perform. In my current role as librarian, I have consistently taken on responsibility that align more closely with those of a library media technician. We are assisting students in logging into computers, checking them in and out, troubleshooting issues for both students and staff, collecting Chromebook care plan payments, and inputting those into our Destiny site, keeping track of damaged Chromebooks and sending those damaged devices to the district office. These tasks require a special skill set that goes beyond traditional librarian duties, encompassing a deep understanding of digital media, information technology, and instructional support. Moreover, the title of library media technician more accurately reflects our multifaceted nature of our work. It acknowledges the technical expertise required to manage the digital resources supporting students in navigating digital platforms and integrating technology into our libraries. The classification is not merely a change in title, but a recognition of our skills, our knowledge, and contributions that we bring to our libraries every day. Additionally, this will benefit our library by providing clarity to students and staff about the services and support we can offer. It will also enable us to be more accurately represented of our capabilities. So in conclusion, reclassifying our position for library to library media technician is a logical and necessary step. It acknowledges the evolving nature of library services, reflects the specialized skills we bring to the role, and positions our libraries to better serve our students and our school sites. I am passionate about my work. I'm grateful and I love my job. I'm committed to continuing to contribute to the success and love of our library. And I invite all of you board members, and you as well, Mr. Young, to come in and see what we're doing on a day-to-day basis and how we serve our classes, our students, and our school sites.
My mic on. Ladies, thank you for coming and sharing with us your situation at your places of employment. When we do a reorganization, if you're going to be eliminating somebody, wouldn't that job have to go somewhere else to somebody else? What I see here, and I'm looking directly at it, and I could be wrong, is mainly dealing with this building and not dealing with what's going to happen outside this building. And that bothers me. The reason why it bothers me is because the people that are doing the actual work with the kids are your teachers and your paras, and I can go on and on and on, but you know who I'm talking about. And those are making a direct effect. I was not a big fan of one-to-one, but with the pandemic, of course, it became very helpful. I walk into a classroom, I see 30 screens up, I see their eyes glaze over, but it is what it is. Chromebooks are needed. These ladies are working extra hours. Why weren't they a part of the reorganization, Ms. Holbert?
The reorganization is on the Business Services Department, and the LMAs do not fall under the Business Services Department.
So if you look at this then, you remove yourself from the fact that this could affect other people in different departments. Is that correct?
I'm trying to, in my opinion...
Ask your question again one more time, just so I understand.
I'm saying that if we're going to do a reorganization, and you do a reorganization, but it has an effect on another department, shouldn't that be made known? Or are you just doing a reorganization and not telling the other people what's going to happen to them when you eliminate positions?
So you asked a question earlier, specifically about a PC support technician that was being eliminated.
Yeah, what happened to their...
So,
and
Do you?
Let me finish, please. I just went up the other day to get a books that Ms. Armstrong was trying to get for us. And I looked down the hallway and there were 12, 14 teachers sitting there at the end of the day. And they had that look of like they've been through, put your helmet on and go to work. And I know that look. And then you're waiting in tech support to look at your computer, which probably doesn't work. And you're 14 people waiting there. Whereas I could probably walk in as a board member and get served right away. Yeah, I mean, I think that's wrong, but I know it. So my point in this is, my question is, if you're going to be eliminating positions in one department, it could potentially affect another department outside of yours. And that's what's happened.
Yes.
And there was no knowledge given to them. So by removing this tech support, which for all reasons might be important to that department, shouldn't a heads up been given to the other department that these people that work for us are being taking on more responsibility? And if they are, shouldn't we reclassify them? Bad area right now.
Yeah, I would ask that we not discuss matters that are related to reclassification.
I'll stop. I'm just saying, if you're doing one thing here and it affects something over here and you don't talk, you're in silos and you're not communicating.
Ms. McFarland?
I didn't know it was done.
Oh, I thought you were, I'm sorry, go ahead, keep going.
You're in silos and you're not communicating, which is what this whole building should be doing. So that those people that are working with students are served. That's their job. This building is to serve the people that are serving the kids.
Thanks.
Mr. Porter, I agree with you on parts of it. This piece that we're voting on tonight is for business services. What they got up and said, I 100% agree with. I think we need to look at it. I think they are apples and oranges. One affects business and one affects classroom and our students outside of this structure. So I do appreciate this, I do agree with this, but I do think that there is a large component that we're missing, and that is the passionate people that came to the microphone. So I would hope that one of our next reports that comes would have, at that point you would have sat down and give us direction on where we're going in that avenue. But I think these are apples and oranges, but your point was well made. I just don't necessarily think that it applied to business services. That's where I disagree with Mr. Porter, but it's on point. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan Axel, and the time you took to speak about your issues that you're facing. I think I agree with Ms. McFarland here. This particular business that we are trying to conduct will get conducted as necessary, which will then follow through with what needs to be done with the rest of the direct student contact services. Do I understand it right? The LMA is there, you haven't forgotten. You need to get to it, which I hope you're intending to do soon.
I just want to reiterate,
Yes.
fully understand even last board meeting, the passion that the library media assistants shared. And both Ms. Holbert and myself discussed, we need to hear from our LMAs to understand the challenges that they're facing. It didn't make sense to pull everyone into a meeting on the first week of school. It's at a high school, and I would just ask the audience to allow me to complete my answer for the board member. So that is going to happen. We are going to have that communication to understand so that we can respond in kind. So absolutely, we support that completely, and that will happen. It has not happened yet, as we are in week 2, day 2.
And when you do bring the LMA reclassification or whatever issue you need to bring to make sure theirs is addressed, can you please also include with it what is happening with the Chromebooks, and can we or do we have a budget for these, which I think is not part of the discussion for what we need to conduct right now in business.
Certainly, we can provide all that information.
Gary, one more thing.
Okay.
Then I'll stop. By voting for this, I'm going to vote no. By voting for this, you are lending support to what I consider to be not foresight. And that's something this building needs to do. So I'm going to be voting no on this. Not that it's not well done, well put out together, but the communication that affects everybody hasn't been done. And to vote yes for it means I'm ignoring this other group.
That's very
Okay. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Porter, I absolutely agree with you when you're saying certain things fall back and hurt others. But I think, and I'm not going to belittle anybody's voicing their concerns, absolutely needs to be done. That's the only way issues come to light. Okay, the issues will come to light when people speak. Now, conducting this business should not, and I personally feel does not allow us to stop what we need to do beyond that.
Right.
That still continues, but you have your voting, absolutely you do how you need to do, but I don't think anyone voting yes or no to this portrays as to that you don't care about what's happening after this. Because you care about what's happening after this, would you vote accordingly to get this business conducted, is what I would say. But we all have technical opinions. Okay.
Any other board comments?
President? Yes, Mr. Young, you've given them the opportunity to meet with you and restructure what they have. Is that correct?
No. So specifically, okay, Mr. Nava,
yes.
We have yet to have a meeting with library media assistants to sit down and understand the challenges that they face that are specifically related to Chromebooks, things of that nature, based on the last meeting and what they shared. And this reiterates many of the points they made last board meeting. So that will happen. It hasn't happened yet. Library media assistants fall under Ed Services and the LCAP that funds it. Business Services Department has now been split into operations and fiscal services. So these two are separate in that way. Even though I understand from what Mr. Porter shared, that his concern is about the service that is provided at school sites.
Yes, I think that, you know, as I'm reading this, they need a job description. For example, this lady that works hours, I mean, she doesn't have to do that, but she's doing it to serve the students, and there's not enough time in the day to get the job done. There has to be some restructure somehow to make sure that all these students that they're serving and the people that are working in those departments are being taken care of.
And that's what I'm going to go out and sit down to understand more clearly.
Perfect. Okay, that's what I want. I actually feel badly that we have to have these media people come in here and discuss with the board, and they're giving the opportunity to get their job description and all that. They have to be patient, in other words, to me, have to be patient for you to take care of it.
I'm going to try to be as impatient as possible in the next couple weeks, but it just didn't seem appropriate when it's the first week of school, understanding, having been at high schools the first week, when textbooks are going out, you're collecting old Chromebooks, same things are happening at middle schools, the same things are happening at elementary schools, the old ones are coming in, the new ones are going out. I know this because I have a 7th grade daughter who is excited that she now has a brand new Chromebook that she needs to maintain until her senior year. But she had to turn in the one that she had since, I believe, 3rd grade. So the process is unfolding, and this was just not the right time. So we will be meeting, and we will be discussing it, and hopefully we have a clear picture once we do.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Being a former teacher, every single year that I started the school year, it never worked out. It takes about a week to get adjusted. I was department head to this group, and they were on me. I says, how many days are in the school year? About 185, 180 or whatever. I says, we will get this done in 2 weeks, and then from then on, you will get to take care of the people, take care of all these students. That's my point.
We have a first and second here.
Mr. Connector, may I make a brief comment? Sorry, I'm going to pass the public comment.
We're good, okay.
And I'll make it brief. I don't want to make this meeting longer than needed. I just wanted to speak one thing, just so this is a reduction of a PC support tech, which is not currently employed. However, it is also an increase of a system analyst. I am a system analyst. If you ask any of these LMAs, they've talked to me on the phone this week. I've been helping at the windows. So it's not a decrease in manpower, it's a change in one position. So the system analysts do help out with the PC support techs during the busy times. So it's not a person going away. It is not a decrease in manpower. It is technically one position is getting promoted to a higher level. So I just wanted to say that. And we enjoy working with the LMA, so we know that they've had a lot of work. Our workload has increased tremendously over the years as well. But I just wanted to make sure that they understand that we're not losing somebody. We are changing one position to a higher level. Thank you.
Do I have a
Mr. Connected, can I respond to a couple of the comments from board members?
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you, I appreciate it. Well, because it's important to us, and I do appreciate you giving us the time. Thank you very much, Mr. Connexted. One thing, in lieu of what Mr. Young is talking about, meeting to talk about the library media assistants, I just want to let you know that they submitted for reclassification in April. Okay? So it's not that we couldn't talk the first week of school, Mr. Young. They submitted for reclassification in April, and they were told no. So, like I said before, they were begging to be paid as they should be. So we've had since April to meet, to talk about library. And the other thing that I should have said ahead of time is there's also 2 more people that work in the library department in this building who are called instructional media assistants. They work, well, they're in this building, but they also have staff out in the warehouse. They've also submitted for reclassification and were denied. So it's like the whole library department as a whole needs to be looked at, not just the library media assistants. Currently right now with the instructional media assistants, like I said, that's in limbo right now. We've objected, we've had an informal that's down in the personnel department. So thank you.
Thank you for your indulgence, Kelly Hanston. I just want to say I missed the last board meeting because I was still vacationing before school started. But that was, I think, the 3rd week of July. So you had that whole week after that Tuesday meeting. You had the next week when the teachers were here for training. I didn't see my library media assistant working at our school. I think these people would have come and talked with you at that point before school started. And it just seems like sometimes like we're not dealing with things in the way that we should to solve problems before they really become problems. So I would just like to see you guys be a little kinder to your employees and work better with them. Thank you.
Okay, there's a motion.
Chairman, I move we approved item 5.
Second.
Okay. Okay, student vote?
I will abstain from this.
Okay.
I don't know much about it, so I'm going to abstain as well.
Okay.
Same here, abstain.
Okay. Board vote? Okay, motion is approved with 5 for, 1 against, and 1 absent. Okay, moving on. Last item is a gigantic report revising board policies and rules. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them. Starts with board policy 514.1.31. It goes all the way down to 6164.3. So we have a summary of what we're talking about here.
Yes, President Knackstead, members of the board, Mr. Young. So before you are proposed board policy and board rule changes to various items. All but one of these are special ed related. One of them is for immunizations. And again, these are changes that are based on CSBA and gamut legal guidance and in compliance with programming within the district. So these are just essentially board policies that need to be updated.
Okay. Okay, any comments? Oh, you have a public, okay. Yes, sir.
Just a couple questions on some of the policies. On policy 6159.3, as I was reading, and I had to read it very fast, it's kind of unclear about who the he, she is. Is it the designee or the surrogate parent? And then on, you want to just do it by time? Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, forget it.
All of the changes that I made, they were all based on CSBA. So I used the legal language that they provided. So I didn't use a lot of, especially with the board policies, I didn't use a lot of discretionary, make a lot of discretionary changes. So these are based on what the California School Board Association makes for the language for these policies.
Next question.
Yeah, and I want to make sure to clarify with the board, so Mr. Knaxton, members of the board, any language that has a he, she, that language is being updated to reflect they. That's how we utilize that term. So moving forward, when this gets approved, it will change to they, and it won't be a he or she.
It really wasn't about the gender question. It's about that it's, as I read it, unclear about whether it's talking about the designee or the parent, surrogate parent, and it gives, if you read the policy, it gives some power to either the designee or the surrogate parent. So it's kind of unclear. And then on, and going with that surrogate parent one, there's another section, another policy that speaks to the surrogate parent for a special education student, which so we're moved to from an adult who needs a surrogate parent to a minor who needs a surrogate parent. In the minor policy, it says that a criminal background check will be done, that they have to demonstrate the interest, that they have to show that they have no conflicts of interest. That's all in the child one, but it's been checked off of the adult surrogate parent. So it's kind of wondering, why doesn't the adult disabled person get the same protections by the policy?
So, Mr. Knaxton, members of the board, if it's okay with you, Mr. Warren can have that conversation with you to understand more in detail that information, and we can provide an update to the board on that information.
All right.
Any other questions?
Any other public comments?
One more, sorry. I read all these policies, and I know you guys did too. Just one as a mod severe teacher, Rule 6159.4, and I just want to give this to you. This is about dealing with behavior and restraints, and it's very important that we have a very clear policy. And some of the language is vague. Let me give you an example. No emergency intervention shall be used for longer than is necessary to contain the behavior. What a teacher might think is necessary at the moment, a person watching may not think is necessary, which puts a teacher in an awkward position because they don't have a firm rule. And I know that it's hard to create a firm rule with the situations we deal in special ed, but it feels like a space where you can throw a teacher under the bus. You see what I'm saying?
This one crossed out?
This one is 6159.4.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
And
It's all crossed out.
if you scroll way down,
I did.
all
I see is.
50
pages?
I'd have to go back and look at, like I said, I read this about 2 hours ago. Go ahead.
Oh,
So the policy is being deleted, but there is an update in the rule.
Oh,
So
okay.
gamut and CSBA are recommending that it be
I see.
eliminated.
Where's?
And an update to
Like
the,
two up from it.
or sorry, that the policy be.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
That it's no longer supporting the gamut. It's recommended that that one be eliminated, and then the rule is the language that they recommended.
Okay, thank you.
And again, I think those are good conversations to have about it, because I do get, you don't want to claim 1 minute when de-escalation takes longer than 1 minute. So you don't want to make it so black and white. So I think this would be a great conversation for you to have with special ed departments specifically with those types of issues.
Okay, Mrs. Farley?
Just real quick, I'm a member of CSB, as all of our school boards are, but I'm a delegate for them for Region 8. When they put these together, they go over them with lots of scrutiny with their legal teams, and so they're meant to be somewhat vague, because if they narrow them too much, then you've got specifics and they fall outside the boundaries, but your points were well taken, and I'm glad somebody else is reading it besides us. Yeah.
Okay, any other comments? Any public comments? Any more? Any other board comments? Okay, well, I didn't ask the students, did you? Guys, you okay? Okay, sorry. Okay, well, thank you then. We're moving on to board advisory committee reports. Do we have any board reports at this point? Okay.
And we did put in a request to have a serious staff and supervisory committee for our McNair, the library that's in front of McNair.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting to
Okay, any board comments
I
then?
can tell you about the library at McNair. They're having, I'm a member of the board of Parks and Recreation Department and discussed it the last Monday of this last month. They're having some problems with the interior of it. And they're trying to move as fast as they can to keep it open and get it open, because there's a gymnasium in there and there's all kinds of facilities that are not available to community because it's closed. So eventually, I was told it would be open in 2 months.
Okay, we're ready. We're so ready, because it looks like it's part of our school.
Yes, that's it.
Any other board comments? Well, I have one then. I just want to remind you, Mr. Young, that I'm still getting photographs from tennis coaches in the district showing the tennis courts needing kind of drastic repairs. So tennis season's right around the corner. They haven't already started, so we need to do that. Okay, any other board comments? Then I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
There you go.
Second.
Okay, we're out of here. Thank you.
I think in the future, we're just going to say aye instead of yay. I had to go back to Dr. Joseph and say, hey, what did we do last year? It's aye or nay. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it makes more skin.